Hello and welcome to Wildermyth. The best way I can describe this game is by basically saying it's a huge story tale of your very own. You create your own characters and you experience their progression all the way from peasants, farmers, and various other, well, low-ranking classes all the way up to living legends where they become infused with all manner of ancient beings and items, and there's a crafting system. And now here's the greatest thing about this game: you can then take these characters, and it's not just one campaign they can join you on, it's every single one that you want. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go into my legacy right here. Alright, so some of these are pre-made. Some of these characters are pre-made. However, we have a couple here, like for example, Brayetta right here. This is one of the characters that I used in my very first campaign. Now here's the thing. The developers, with the full release of the game, have released a game mode known as Legacy and its accompanying chapters. So basically, if you want a short game, then you can have 3 chapters, medium length game, 5 chapters, and so on. And you can use these legacy characters in those fights and in those campaigns. And the same thing with Calor here. Calor is my wizard kind of character. And as you can see, he's using a scythe. He didn't really get very far in his progression, unfortunately. My favorite character, however, was Tholian. Tholian was crazy. She got herself into so much trouble that, as you can no doubt tell, she had one of her eyes replaced by some kind of gemstone, and that gemstone has now kind of infested her arm and her leg, as you can see right there. And now Tholian is actually really amazing because anytime she gets a killing blow, she goes stealth, and then she ignores armor on the next opponent that she fires at, and if she manages to kill that opponent, then she goes stealth again, and so on and so on. So she is extremely powerful and very, very fun to play with. And a relatively similar thing to Brayetta here. She is just super powerful in general. In melee, she is just unmatched. She could pretty much just two-shot any enemy apart from massive bosses. So it was a lot of fun. But that is exactly what I'm talking about. The legacy system that they have introduced here is absolutely amazing. So you can see here that we have a number of different predetermined campaigns. Now these campaigns always have the same overarching story. So for example, if you were to do the first one here, which kind of serves as a sort of semi-tutorial, The Age of Ulstrix. That is a 3-chapter story that is geared towards new players, as you can see. As I said, it's more of a tutorial kind of thing. And you face off against the implacable Gorgon leader Ulstrix. So he's the main villain, you know? He's the main villain in this. Same thing with Morthagi right there. Same thing with the Deepists as the main threat. Same thing with the Thrixl, and so on and so on. Now, then we have something really quite amazing. A lot of people have likened Wildermyth to XCOM in the way that you grow ties with your characters, and these characters become very much important to you, and it increases that bond because of how many times you're going to be able to utilize these characters in pretty much any campaign you want. And these are procedural, as you can see. Procedural events, no overarching villain story. So you can either choose to play with the 3 chapters or 5 chapters, and you can promote 1 legacy hero or 2 legacy hero, depending on which one you choose. And these are all procedurally generated, obviously. And if you want to choose this, the difficulty scales with the legacy tier of your starting heroes. That's really quite amazing. Now, I'm actually going to be playing the short campaign here with just 3 chapters, and we're going to see what happens because I want to show you from the very start what is actually going on here. So we have a wide variety of different difficulties here. We have Storyteller, Adventurer, Tragic Hero, and Walking Lunch. Yes, okay, so Storyteller is the easiest, Adventurer is normal, Tragic Hero is hard, and Walking Lunch, I would assume, is, yes, misery. Okay, so we're going to go for Adventurer for the moment, and as you can see, you can also randomize your main enemy. You can also customize the difficulty if you want to, and you can change how the combat difficulty and the campaign difficulty is. Personally, I don't really mind. Then you can also play with Iron Man, or as it is known in this game, carved in stone. Every decision is permanent. No retrying after the game over. I'm actually going to be playing with this on, because I think that that's super fun. I haven't checked out any of the mods that are available for the game, because I found that the base game is more than sufficient to give me a huge amount of enjoyment, so I really don't see the need for that. If you want to play alongside me on the same map seed, here it is. Just pause the video and you can see what's going on with that. If you do decide to pick up the game, which I would probably recommend you do, you know, it's pretty amazing. Anyway, let's continue onward. Alright, so here we go. Now, this is our starting party. Now, what we can do is we can re-roll all, and we can randomize individually if we want to. We can also choose between 3 different classes. So we could choose Warrior, Hunter, Mystic. Personally, I don't really care which is which, but they are all going to have different personality traits, as you can see right here. So for example, we have Greedy Snark. And you can see here that you can change their name if you want to. You can change their head and face. You can change the colors. You can change the size. And you can see, you can change how wide and how narrow they are. You can change how short and tall they are, and so on and so forth. And you can also re-roll them however you want. And then they, well, become different things. Then you can also say what they're actually attracted to. You can allow random romances, rivalries. You can allow them to have children, in fact. And on top of that, you have relationships, you have health, you have accuracy, stats, all this stuff. Then you have the history, obviously. You can change this however you want, by the way. I can edit this however I like, as you can see right here. So this is literally for anyone that loves like D&D or creating their own stories and having a character that is your very own. This is pretty much all you could want, isn't it? Yes, it's actually kind of crazy. Anyway, as you can see right here, this guy is a farmer, and he works the lands for a living. He's loyal. Yeah, he's a bit weird. He's a human, and he's young. And you can change all of this. You can customize them, and you can do whatever you want to do, really. But what I'm going to do, just for the sake of hilarity and fun, we're going to re-roll these 3 times, and on the 3rd one, I will be keeping whatever we get. So let's do it. There you go. Alright, that is what we're going to be going for. Greedy Coward, Romantic Goofball, and Poetical Romantic. And we have Warrior, Hunter, Mystic. You can obviously change that if you so desire. I have found that the Mystic is not... It can be useful, but I personally prefer the Warrior and the Hunter gameplay mostly. But obviously I don't really mind too much about that. And I'm pretty happy with their names as well. You can obviously decide to customize them however you like if you want to. Now, this is completely procedurally generated, so it is all very different. And as I said, it is a storytelling simulator, kind of. You'll get the gist of it as we go through. It was a night frothing cups, battered tavern tables, and bellowed tunes banged against the last full sky. Maybe all that joyous noise served to knock loose a star that had chewed thin its thread. What would it be like to feel so secure in someone else you could marry, and not worry about all the possible ways it bends wrong? A frayed star, falling wayward from some other firmament, it swung its many-stranded tail across midnight. Huh? No, Maybe a carnal influence, a red star? Why am I by myself? Arian Ardenfast, attend me, for I am the voice of your conscience. It is time you wrapped the neighbor's house in timber rope. That is the deed of a goodly soul, one who would see the whole town in stitches, and I mean laughing, not literal. And now we get an opportunity to choose. Now, these choices can have dramatic effects. As I've said before, you can have all kinds of modifications and mutations and crazy magical enchantments happen dependent on your choices. And personally, I feel like these two might have a go at a romance, so why not? Let's do it. Wish you'd seen what I just... Yeah, people, wake up, help, something's... An edged voice cleaves to the pre-dawn quiet. Where's it coming from? Know who it was? Other end of the lane. Oh no, what is that? We have no idea what that is. Running towards the sound of trouble. Trouble meets them halfway. Brenshi bends for whatever's handy. In a moment, it's a fight to survive. And here we go. Alright, so... Thankfully, we do have +1 speed, and we are up against the Thrixl by the looks of things. So the Thrixl are our main opponent in this campaign. I've never fought the Thrixl before, so this is going to be rather interesting. Okay, so personally, the first thing you're going to see right here is the charming aesthetic to the game. These are all basically cardboard cutouts, pretty much. And I really love that. I think that that adds a huge amount of charm to the game. Anyway, I'm thinking we're probably just going to go and whack this guy over the head. Boom. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? Yeah, it is going to start very, very simply, but later down the line, you'll see. It's going to get a little bit tough. It's going to get a little bit tough. Oh, nice. That was a stunt maneuver. Okay, so there are a wide variety of different stats. Stunts, or the stunt statistic, that has to do with basically a chance to critical. That's pretty much what it comes down to, I suppose. It's more of a critical hit kind of ability. Anyway, Chaven has now advanced in level, and as you can see, you can now choose an ability for him to have. Personally, I would really like to go for something that is passive. I personally love passive abilities in this. However, there are some extremely powerful active ones as well. So let's have a look here. We have Backslam. As a swift action every other turn, Chaven knocks an enemy up to 3 tiles away, dealing 1 damage, and 1 damage for each armor Chaven has. So the best thing that I can do with him is to get him as much armor as possible if we take this ability. Otherwise, we have Shield Shear, which is the other active. Once every other turn, as a swift action, Chaven shreds 2 of a foe's armor with his weapon. Alright, I don't really care about that. I'm going to go for Broad Swipes. And what else do we have here? Ooh, okay, yeah. So, personally, I already know about Quelling Moss. In my opinion, Quelling Moss is fantastic, but I'm actually going to see what this is. Brenshi's attacks apply 2 hobbled to the enemy, so their speed is reduced temporarily. And then we have Fox Flight. That just makes her a little bit faster in combat, and she has the ability to activate a dodge mechanic, which allows her to dodge the next 2 attacks against her. I'm going to take the poison here. Quelling Moss, it allows her to throw like a flask of poison that can deal damage in an area to everyone in that, and it can apply a damage over time effect, which is in my opinion very useful. And also as a passive, every single one of her attacks, including ranged attacks, can cause poison to be applied, which I very much like. Now, we have this guy who is our caster. And Ignite is something that I've taken before, and I think it is actually really, really cool. Elementalist is really fun with interfusing with objects. I think he's got that ability. Yeah. So I'm thinking we're gonna. You know what? I actually want to make a battle mage. I'm gonna make a battle mage with him, and Vigor Flow is exactly the kind of thing that I want to do with that. Because as you can see, for each interfused object, Arian's physical attacks gain +2 damage. So that's what we're gonna do with that. At the end of every combat situation, you're gonna potentially get an item, and this is pretty good. So I'm actually gonna be going for Arian, I suppose. I'm going to try and make him our beastly character if I possibly can. Anyway. That Chaven Mill? Barely breathing, yeah. Arian, right? And she's Brenshi? It's barely chimes when you prod it. I just closed my eyes. It felt like a cruel dream woke me back up. Cool air hums in the roadways. Voices start to rise behind walls, woken by the noise. It's The hilltop. Come with me. As the town lamps kindle beneath them, they gaze out upon the deep blue distance. Wow, you saw it drop all the way out there? I'm going, I think, to see it up close. Go ahead and forbid me to come along. I'll follow just out of sight. I'll leave breakfast by your pillow. They leave town that day, the first of winter. In my dream, there was death, but everyone seems all right. Tomway and Elmo, Jogan, Swift, and Lunlaw Bad. Brenchie, we're going to fight more of those things? Thrixl, they're called, according to that guy, the half-hero. Even half-hero feels generous for old Tombrook. Yeah, there'll be things out there we can't predict. That's my only real prediction. Want to know a problem? Try and look for your star now. Can't even tell where it is anymore, or was. That's troubling. No knight ever followed a straight line from door to dragon lair. It's better. A journey worth reciting. Alright. Every company of heroes is called by at least one name. A name spoken or spelled in tradition and handed along ever after. These heroes will be known as. And then we can either choose from the three that our wonderful friends here have selected for themselves, or we can enter our own name if we want to. The Kinship of the Blushing Lizard. That sounds actually hilarious, and I think I might want to go for that. So I'm going to go for the Kinship of the Blushing Lizard, but you can obviously decide what you want to do with yours. These are the stories of the Kinship of the Blushing Lizard. It might be a little bit too long, actually, but oh well. We're going to see how it goes. Okay, so now, here we go. Up at the top left, you can see what we have to do in Chapter 1. If you want the best possible, shall we say, resolution to this chapter, then the best thing you can do is do every single thing on the left first and then do the main objective. Because you want to be able to do pretty much everything that the chapter holds in store and hopefully not die along the way, I guess. Okay, so it seems like we should be pretty fine here. The map is quite small at the moment, and I'm basically just going to go scouting over here. I can, if I want to, have a recruitment cost here. If I have legacy points, then I can spend some to recruit another companion. Personally, I don't want to do that right now, so I don't really see the necessity to do it. Okay, so there's actually an assault going on here, and as well as a zone that we can take over. So this is going to be a bit problematic. This is an incursion by lurking Thrixl. I think we're probably going to be attacking them. So this is going to be interesting. Eyes sharp, group. If you start feeling weird or sleepy, fall back and let us know. This place looks ancient. What was that? What was what? I thought I saw something. I guess it was nothing. Maybe, maybe not. Thrixl delight in mind games. Stay vigilant. That I will. I keep seeing something, shapes, just on the edge of my view. What's with the jumpiness, Arion? You okay? I need to focus and stop jumping at every falling pebble. Yeah, I'm okay. It's just, I hate the idea that these creatures can get into our heads. It's just such an invasion. I don't want to be alone with my thoughts sometimes, but they're my thoughts. Alright, so we now have an opportunity to choose. You might not be jumping at nothing, or, Arion, try to focus, you're making the rest of us skittish now. I'm gonna say you might not be jumping at nothing. That's why our job here is so important. Let's find these creatures and put an end to them. Thanks, Chaven. I'll aim for vigilant and focused instead of nervous and jumpy. And apparently they're now rivals as a result of my selection. Oh dear. Okay. Alright, so these are our foe cards. So this basically tells you what you're going to be fighting in this mission. And then it's going to basically give you a very rough outline of whether something's going to be difficult or not. Anyway, we're going to open the door here. We're revealing someone already, which is absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. And we're just going to be going, actually not into Silk Step just yet. We're going to go over here, and then I will go into Silk Step. Basically, that just puts her into stealth. That's pretty much what Silk Step does. And what we're going to do with Arion here is we are going to interfuse, like I said before, we're going to interfuse with this loom over here. Now, usually, a mage, if you weren't going to build as a battle mage, would be attempting to use the abilities gained by interfusing with objects. So, for example, I have interfused with this loom, and this gives me the ability to use Bone Lance, which has a 4 to 5 damage range, and also has a, it actually has a range of 4, and it can pierce 1. So that's actually pretty strong, but I'm going to be using him as primarily a battle mage, so obviously that's not really too useful to me at the moment. Oh, that guy also has interfuse. They all have interfuse. This is actually kind of bad now then. Okay. This might be somewhat problematic. Okay, I'm just going to try and murder them as fast as I possibly can. That is pretty much the only thing I can do here. I'm going to try to get on by here, and can I use poison? Yes, I can actually use poison. Going to use poison, just going to throw poison right there. It's only going to do 1 damage. But I think now that I have thrown that one, that's actually going to do more, which is pretty nice. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to be moving Arion into the line of fire, which is a little bit maybe problematic, but I really want to get rid of the interfuse. Unfortunately, that was not enough to be able to eliminate these. Oh no, but thankfully the poison went off. Look at that. And now we don't have to worry so much, at least. Ooh, dodged. How dare you. Okay, there we go. Nice. And dead. Yes, Arion is looking really strong right now. I personally like him a great deal. I think he's probably going to be probably one of my favorite characters here, but all of them are looking really nice right now. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Brenshi's gotten some new armor, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to replace her old armor with the new, and it actually does change their cosmetic look as well, so that's pretty nice. I'm going to be giving this to Arion so that his speed can be a little bit better. And there we go. Alright, so every so often, your enemies are going to gain some kind of benefit. Because obviously, if you're scaling up, then your enemies also need to scale up. Because otherwise, it's going to be just, well, way too easy, right? So yeah, this is what's going to happen here. So this guy, the Dweavers, have now gained +1 damage. So they can do even more damage than before. And you can remove these somehow, as far as I'm aware. I think you can do that, but I haven't really done that often in my adventures so far, so maybe it's not particularly necessary. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually thinking we will secure this. Now, the main reason why you would want to secure a place on the map is so that you can, well, you can find an item, obviously, but that is going to take it a little bit longer to go, and every single day is pretty crucial at this point. But why you want to secure these is so that you can get resources now and at the end of each chapter. And spending resources allows you to upgrade your hero weapons and armor, which is actually fantastic. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this. This is going to take 19 days, and you can see here that is going to count down on the next calamity card, which is the main thing. Okay, so there we go. It has been cleaned and put in good order with time left for a few days of comfort. Walnock's lookout will return to the hands of the common folk. While they tend it, the site will provide resources at the end of each chapter. And there we go. That's what we're gaining. We're gaining hides, ingots, and spell threads, and they're all for different kinds of weapons and armor and bows and staves and all that sort of wonderful stuff. So now we're going to continue onward. It's going to take another 14 days for us to travel over there. And bear in mind that if you don't have a bridge, you're going to have to build one. Yeah, there's also that. So there's a number of different things that you're going to have to do to be able to make things accessible. Let's just say that. Anyway, let's go for another assault in the dam area. What was the lady's name we're supposed to keep an eye out for? De Guise, I think. De Guise? That is not how you say that, but okay. From what I know of forest folk, they normally spread themselves out over the landscape. Maybe they secretly can't stand each other. Who knows? These aren't exactly normal times, though. And her husband seemed concerned anyway. Of course he is. Old Geese seems distracted, starts spending more and more time out in the ruins, watching the goats, or so she says. I'd be concerned too. Is that the story? Sometimes she wouldn't even come home at night. The guy seems at a loss. Sounded like they needed better communication, I said. How do you get people to tell you these things? My trustworthy face and sensible outfit. How else? Well, that gold chain around your... well, around your torso definitely says trustworthy, right? Okay, clouds grow like lichen over the sky. They pick their way through the building bones until a shout rings out from close by. Come on, come on. Up the hill, a woman stands up against a monument. Her gaze darts between the sky. Come on. And the shadows of approaching Thrixl. Alright, here we go. Get around her quickly. Yeah, we're going to go and try to defend her as fast as possible. There we go. We're going to rush towards the monument, and we're going to try and protect her as best we can, because, well, that's apparently the mission. That's what we got to do. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of these dweevers. They seem to survive quite a lot. Okay, so now we have this event here that's going on. These spirits can give you certain things. So I'm going to take Chavin over here to interact with this. Whoa, what are you? Don't bite me, okay? Okay, so basically what we can do is we can either get a legacy point or we can get a new weapon. I am probably going to get a new weapon. There we go. So we now have a Great Spear Tier 1, and this is made of stone, and it has a stunt effect which shreds one armor and pins all enemies within a 2-tile radius, which in my opinion is actually really nice, and it does make a pretty significant difference to his damage. Now bear in mind, you can name every single item that you craft or gain in the game, and you can also, well, as you can see, randomize them as well. Vile Doom, that sounds like a fun name, so there you go. That's what we're going to do, and there we are. So that's basically an optional objective. You don't have to do it, but it is something that is available to you if you want to. Anyway, let's see. Oh, now this is actually fantastic. They are in the worst possible positioning, and I am going to try and poison them. Boom. Oh yeah, get poisoned. Thank you. And now I'm going to move... oh, there she is. Okay, so that's actually the person that we've come to try to rescue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place her over here. So there is a defensive formation that you can place your units in. If they stand next to each other, you can see this blue little icon on the floor here. That basically means that they have sort of linked together. It's kind of like a wall. And they're giving themselves a defensive bonus as a result of that, which is, in my opinion, very cool. So we're hopefully going to be able to make the most of that. Anyway, we're going to do the same thing with Arion here. And we're going to do a little bit of interfuse with that tree, because that's got a huge amount of HP. And I can interfuse with something else as well, which I think I will do on this wall. There we go. And now we're just going to let the enemies do whatever they want to do. Arion is going to do absolutely insane damage at this point because he has 2 interfused targets. And if we recall, every single interfused target gives him +2 damage. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Yeah, so that's the reason why I took that particular skill. I think it's going to be really, really fun to see what we're able to do. Okay, so I'm going to focus on the Dweaver, I suppose. There we go. That's some nice damage. And technically I can actually attack with her as well if we want to. I suppose we will. Let's make the most of it, I guess. We don't want her to die though, that's the thing. Okay, so let's just go over there and completely murder this. Or maybe we won't, because apparently it blocked. Oh no, no. Oh no. Oh, that might have gone badly, actually. That might have gone very badly. Thankfully, we were able to avoid an unnecessary death there. And I'm probably just going to move away one little bit. Let's do some more damage. Nice. Okay. Whew. I was very, very worried there for a second. If only we had just hit with Arion. Unfortunately, he did get himself blocked there, so that did not help us one bit. Okay, so we can now use throwing... Oh, really? Throwing knives? Okay, this is actually interesting. I'm not entirely sure if we want to even use the throwing knives, to be honest. I think I'm actually just going to salvage them. So, yeah, that basically is another thing that you can do. If there's an item that you feel is not that useful, you can basically just salvage it, and then it turns into some kind of crafting material, which is really nice as well. No waste. And there's very rarely any kind of resource like gold or currency in the game, which is also really nice. Okay, the clouds begin to disperse, and Shaven regards the woman who is now rubbing her arms and staring at the ground. Thrixl? Do I know you? Your husband sends his regards. So, what's the story? Watching the goats? The goats do like it here. They climb the ruins. But that's not... When the forest began to get more dangerous, I thought it might be time to finally use the Stormwell here. This? What is it? I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. This thing's been on the family land forever. Uncle said it was Kioran. We had stories that it could... This is going to sound crazy, but that it could give you power. And my family are abysmal storytellers, see? Terrible imaginations. So I thought, maybe they're not just stories. Maybe I could, you know, protect the goats. And my husband, my Burn, if I could get a hold of that power. It takes research, some old family recipes, and time. Lots of time to get a Stormwell to give up its secrets. I didn't want to tell Burn. Rather, he came up with a story of his own. Right, well, that's better than the story of a goat herd trying to wear a hat 2 sizes too big for her. It's a shame, though. I needed maybe one more good storm. The clouds looked promising today, and I thought I could finish the process before the monsters got here. No such luck. It was silly, now that I've seen what fighting really is. I'm not cut out for it. Glad I never told Burn. So now you're going to count my goats and go home? Yeah. Unless one of you wants it. It's possible. Make the beasts pay good next time. The sky is clearing now, but if you want to take me up on it, come back sometime. Ask for Thrixl, Erlenhart, Burn too. We'll feed you, put you up, give you otherworldly powers, forest folk hospitality, you know? And there we go. Alright, so that is obviously an opportunity for us to have some kind of mutation, some kind of benefit, possibly, to our units. And that, as I've said, is pretty much always random in most cases, especially in the procedurally generated campaign, so this is really quite fun. Okay, so that is a new enemy type, and as you can see, it has now been added to the pool. And you can see here, grants someone the power of the Stormwell. We're going to be making Arion do that. We have to send him away for 14 days. But thankfully, we have some securing to do. So that is what we're going to do. That is going to take us 38 days to actually complete. So he's going to be more than done by the time that we're done with securing the premises, I guess. Okay, so Thrixl and Burn welcomed Arion and stuffed him full of bristleberry pie and goat cheese while they waited for a storm to roll in. Right, this is more like it. Burn, get your boots. You stay. Thrixl tinkered with the top of the Stormwell. Careful! Wonderful, good sign, almost there. You call us when you're ready. So, what did you give up? For? The whole heroing. You know, like your goats or your spouse, to name examples at random. Oh. I got lucky, I guess. Brenchi's out here too, so I've gained more than I've lost. Convenient. We've got a lot of time ahead, but who knows? Maybe one of us will have to bow out someday. There'll be discussions. Or maybe things will have settled down for good and it won't be an issue. Arion's musings are sharply interrupted. Juggies! It's been a long flower to bloom, but it's quite pretty now, isn't it? I should have asked this before, but am I going to have to fight something? Probably not. What happens now, then? Well, that wasn't in the stories. The ancient voices of the Tempest aren't telling you? Alright, here we go. So now this gives me the opportunity to transform a part of my character here. And I have no idea what each of these is actually going to do. See? So that's the thing. I'm going to transform his head though, because I think that could be quite fun. Arion draws his face close to the water. Tiny flashes within it hold his gaze. Suddenly, it's obvious what he's supposed to do. How'd it taste? A little metallic. Not great, honestly. You both okay? Alright. They were obviously shocked. Alright. Okay, so there you go. So now what we're going to do is, there you are. He is basically done. And we're just going to continue our construction of the securing the dam. And there we have it. Okay, fantastic. So now we can continue onward. And that is going to provide us with some additional resources, which is fantastic. And we also gained a scarf here as well. And block. Skill of blocking attacks pitted against opponent accuracy in order to calculate a hit or a miss. Well, Arion is going to be wearing this. I'm giving him everything to make him into an absolute monster as much as we possibly can. And now we're going to do this. There we go. We're going to go into the next area. We need to get all the way down here. And I'm going to just try and eliminate every single little bit of threat that I possibly can, because otherwise these enemies are going to continue trying to do something to us, and we really don't want that. Alright, some kind of basement over here. Yeah, but I'm starving. You know what's in basements? Ghosts. They've been late all day. Late rising, late on the trail, late to recognize sunset, and late spotting this ruin. It's the remains of a smallish structure, and it rests on a cleared rocky slope where trees find little purchase. Chaven, stay outside. Bump me in the dark and I'll kick you. Your threats fall on deaf ears. Not much room for more than a toe dance. Ash on the floor. Someone worked at this table. Knife lines, stains of sediment. It's chalk. What are these hash marks? Then what's in the box? Remember there's that verse in Opal Night when Spira comes to the Umber Ladies' Hall? Past the open portal, shadows packed like ravens plumed, dimming all discovery, sharply dark, and darkness doomed. Spira's sparklight shimmered spent, snuffed, dispelled, left all engloomed. This place isn't like that, I guess, but nowhere's poem perfect. How do you keep all those words together? You got a word hoard under that scalp? The box is puzzle locked. One of those magic puzzle locks. Oh, is it words or numbers? Words? Thank all gods. He's obviously not very good at mathematics. That makes two of us, Arion, yes. Remind me how these function? Enchantment, old one. Don't think anyone does it these days. Lock words, they called them. The words or phrases that'd spring the box open. The magic lock presents a prompt with a clear slate to write an answer. Alright, here we go. The wise wanderer finds home where... Do I have to type? Hopefully not. From the looks of this place, the owner didn't do much wandering. Shh. Well, air's turning out much better than I thought. Cook dinner and make a night of it. Chalk some guesses? You can just stay out of the way. Fine with me. They haul their gear down the slippery stairs. Brenshi unclogs the blocked chimney pipe, finding it a filthier task than she first imagined. Chaven goes through the old books lying about. None of them hold his interest long. Arion toils over an alright stew, not sparing the seasoning much thought. They shout and scribble guesses in the meantime. Who comes up with the correct lock words? Ooh, now this is cool. Alright, so this is another one of those decisions, and it obviously makes a difference what happens, whether we actually get it to open. The wise wanderer finds home where love at last would land him, or where grapes are grown, or where the bad guys won't think to look. I'm actually gonna go with Arion's answer. I like Arion's answer much more than the others, so we're gonna go with that. Even though I said that I was gonna make him into the most powerful being in existence, I kind of liked what he said anyway. And it actually unlocked. Just then, a clatter of sleek, buggy legs echoes into the basement hollow. Must have heard our treasure box open. Well, what's in there, though? Materials, looks like. Good ones. Could have been this person's pride and treasure. Yeah, I suppose. And we gained 3 hardwoods. Very nice. Alright. So now we actually do have to fight. Let's do this. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna just go for a straight up attack, I guess. I mean, we do have that tier 1 weapon now, which is hopefully gonna deal some pretty sizable damage. As you can see, it's doing pretty well. I am gonna try for some poison. Unfortunately, I can only get poison on one of them. Actually 2 of them, but I would like to get it on all 3. So I'm actually just going to be shooting this guy, and I'd like to interfuse with someone first. Let's see if I can interfuse with something that has a lot of HP. That rock over there is pretty good, and then we're just going to attack. Boom. Oh yeah, that is some nice damage right there. I mean, bear in mind that Arion is still using a tier 0 weapon, so obviously that makes a huge difference. Wow, massive damage being done right there as well. Okay, so let's attack this. Boom. As you can see, the tier 1 weapon makes a huge difference. Chaven is doing so much damage as a result of it. Let's move away, do some damage. Nice little poison there. And then we're going to interfuse with the tree over here. That's going to give me even more damage, hopefully, with Arion. And boom, that is... Look at that. Look at how much damage that actually dealt. 9 damage. Absolutely insane. Chaven has now advanced in level. And, ooh, long reach is actually looking really, really fun. Chaven has +1 range with all attacks and abilities. That can be extremely, extremely lucrative. However, I think what I'm actually going to be taking is Broad Swipe's upgrade, because that now does 2 damage to enemies within range. So if there are multiple people nearby to him, then that's going to be really, really useful. And we're going to be giving him some additional armor right there. Alright, so this Thrixl, the Dweaver, has now gained additional health, which is actually awful as well. Alright, there we go. Oh, look at that. I actually unlocked an achievement as well. How romantic. How romantic. Thank you. Okay, so now I don't know whether I want to go into the swamp. Let's go into the swamp. I'm not going to secure this place because we are starting to kind of rack up the calamity cards right now, and I don't really want to take too long. See, now that's the thing. We kind of have to be a little bit careful about that. We can't just take our time however we want. We do need to be a little bit swift about what we decide to do. Anyway, we're going to go here. We're actually going to be fighting Gorgons this time. Okay, I've got one. Favorite fruit. I once had something called a persimmon. The flavor was subtle, wrapped itself around your tongue. I still think about it. Wish I remembered fruit that well. Alright, you're gonna love this one. Favorite thing to fight. That's like asking my favorite rash. Least favorite then. Might have to be Gorgons. Is that because they're over the next hill? It's the ick factor, even worse than Thrixl. They don't just move, they spread. They're like walking diseases. And here I am, making a career out of them. I'm not that old, right? Sometimes I wonder if it's not too late to start over somewhere. I wouldn't, though, realistically. You bumblebees need me too badly. Well, we appreciate that. What about you? What keeps you here? Well, you mean other than you? We're gonna continue just being, like, kind of charming, I guess, or try to be as charming as possible. So many things, really. That lithe form, that dazzling smile, the way you whisper my name before a fight. Shh, Chaven's gonna hear. Plus, what kind of man would I be if I left you to get picked up by some beefy gorgon? True. I come hither away from those tentacles and I'm toast. Alright, so there you go. We've actually gained some temporary damage and potency as a result of our relationship becoming just that little bit better. So there's obviously gameplay benefits to actually selecting some pretty nice options right there. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go over here. If I miss, then I do have a little defensive bonus right there. We're going to... I think we're probably going to use Brenshi to be a little bit of a scout. Gonna go and stealth right there. She has not that much HP because she wasn't able to fully restore since the previous fight. So that's obviously a bit of a problem. Okay, we're just gonna attack straight up right here, and maybe we'll get... Ooh, he's taking massive damage right there. That is not so good. Yeah, Shaven, obviously warriors, they do tend to gain armor much faster than other characters, and so making a battle mage might be much more difficult than I anticipated, but I kind of want to make a battle mage, so I'm going to try it, and we'll see whether it can actually work. Maybe it's not going to, but I'm going to try my best. Okay, I'm going to go for an interfuse on this cart. There we go. Basically, I just want to try and get as powerful as possible with one-hit kills. I want Arion to be able to one-hit basically everything that we come across, or at least try to do that. Alright, we're going to move back, shoot this. Boom, you're dead. Okay, now let's move up. We might have some problems here, actually. I could use Bone Lance. You see, now, here's Bone Lance. This is really, really far away, or I could use Splinter Blast. Splinter Blast is more of an AoE kind of style attack. I'm actually going to try and use Bone Lance here. Wow, that dealt so much damage. I mean, really. See, now, that's what you can also do with the wizards or mages. Mystics is what they're called here. And they can do that interfusing thing. It's really quite amazing, but... it's... I really want to make a battle mage, so we'll see if we can maybe do that instead. Okay, so there you go. The Gorgonoids are slain. Battles led them down a boulderous roam where grey grass matches the cloud color. Someone doing dragon pictures? Hey, Shaven. Old Shaven Mill, the fighter we deserve. You badly hurt? So what's your favorite monster? Oh, probably something small and funny, like a Pyclops. Got to be a classic like a skeleton. Got that amiable expression all the time. Those answers are fine, but some of us will always love a dragon. A dragon, such a romantic figure really, that it surprises me neither of you said it. I always look at clouds and shape dragons from them. Thieglind and Zamantha, mighty Glyphrix of Neetherflare. Can't wait until we're around a fire. The stories will soar. Alright, and the Gorgon are now getting a Calamity card. As you can see right there. And you can get a whole bunch of Calamity cards, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, any single enemy that you come across, you have the potential to have that happen. Alright, so we now have the ability to either secure this area, we're going to get another Calamity card, or we can continue onward. I think I'm actually going to secure the area because what I'd like to do is see if we can maybe restore our HP. Okay, so this is a random event. I'm probably not going to be taking this random event because it will take us away from where we want to go. So I'm just going to dismiss it for the moment, unfortunately. And as you can see, our people are now healing themselves, they are now healed, and here we go. Your enemies advance their plans over time. So now, here's the thing. When calamities happen, you have the ability to stop them if you have legacy points. And we have 13 legacy points, thankfully. So I can cancel, effectively, all of these, which is great. So there you go. We just cancelled all of them, and they are not going to affect us now. And we have now secured another workshop, which is fantastic, because that means that I'll be able to go into the crafting menu at the end of the chapter, and I'll be able to get Arion some fantastic gear. Oh, he actually leveled up as well. How do I take a look at that? How do I wait, is it customize? Oh, and see now I have no idea how to actually level him up. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Is this? No, this is the... Oh, no. This is the adventure that he wanted to go on. It's one of those modest, hopeful nights. Nothing's gone wrong in a week. Yeah, this is the thing. I didn't want to do this, mainly because I wanted to go on to the final area and see if we could maybe get that done. But the calamities, they are gone now. So maybe we can actually finish this up without being in too much danger. That our mindscapes have their own geography. Ranges of thought, forests of figment, lakes of longing, and mires of prejudice. To quest among these inner climes is just as daring a venture as the traditional hero's journey. They told me to come get you, storytelling game they're doing. Arion? A doctor's text, Dr. Roan her name is, someone with a winking face threw it into the water. Basically, I had to retrieve it, which is natural for a dog, I suppose. And I can help it if maybe you swing down, or swim down, to bring the book back. You open it, and out spills a beautiful woman, made of shadow and letters and completely sopping. Oh, right, shaven. Can I go? You look strong, but you've got weaknesses in your chest and brain, don't you? You're destined to find trouble. Candle quiet follows. It's the meager wordless sound that wavers between a going-somewhere man and his easy-goaded rival. Oh, wow. Okay. So they set out on a journey. Okay, let's do this. They're going to go out on a journey together, and we're going to see what they end up doing, because I have no idea. They're going all the way back to here. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see what happens. The journey often seems directionless to Chaven. Long cuts chosen over short, expeditions through the brambles and along barren tracts. They take hungry trails, starved for forage as much as for purpose. But Arion seems to wake each morning with confidence where his eyes should go, what horizon his feet should aim towards, and finally, I think we're here. You don't even know where we are, do you? It's inside of me. These are my insides, Chaven. My actual bones and organs. I guess what you mean is it's... Arion, alright. Well, how did we get inside you all of a sudden? Here, follow me. I get that it's a pretty unfirming idea. The trees are to be expected in a man, a sorcerer like I am. Certainly you'd say he must have rocks in there, and sky. I'd say that. But I've sort of been approaching the idea a long time. We think our souls are inside us, but what if that's just not the geography? What if it's weirder than that? Like the soul is a bigger thing, and the body can exist inside and outside of it. Venture beyond it, but also return and be centered in that space, and find balance. And what if the body and the soul are at once remote and holistic, maybe? Holistic. And yet none of that is supported by anything we've seen. How odd. Well then, behold, a pig has come. It makes itself known to them, shuffling its hindquarters, it purses its ears. Amazing. Is it? Pig of my insides, tell me why I felt so sick since the fall. What's made me so hesitant to lip lock? What curdles the spit in my throat? Ah, so you're sick. This all makes a lot more sense now. Listen tight. Okay. Desiring everything, you lose what you grasp. Cup only what you are alive to love, like it's water. You must cup it as consciously as you can. Even then, it drips off your oldening knuckles. Oh, and while I've got you, brush your teeth, please. Brush them none too gently. Get your full night's sleep, whenever you can. Focus on breathing to stop your heart racing. And finally, kill the parasite. Beings that are digging around in your body matter. That's actually most of the problem. Arion, what? Right. I wondered if it was the para-queens. Arion, why can the pig, or what's the whatever sight problem? Those bacteria dragons, see? Gnawing my spleen. Oh. Remember that it's my insides, Chaven. Be careful where you thrust and skewer. I guess. Right. Now, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that one bit, but I love it. And let's see what happens. Okay. Disperse the bacteria things, like doctors, or, and tell me if it's crazy, but what if we just try talking to the disease? Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to find out what happens if we try talking. Let's try it. I understand you, ill-reeking dragons. Speak to me. I understand you multiply, you feed. It's your nature like most animals, but you'll leech me dry soon if you keep it up. My idea is just, let's form a pact and be familiar. I nourish you, you let me hang on to my life, yeah? Explain us the reason. You display us compassion? Everything talks. It's the power of having, well, not friends, necessarily. I've learned it's possible to live and work alongside people we dislike, people that are like diseases unto themselves. Well, and unto everyone else. But a disease isn't people. We are something else. And sometimes that's better. Hey, what I'm saying is, it's worth finding ways to coexist, even when your own nature tells you it's impossible. I guess he's right, or nearly. Wait a minute, did I skip something right there? Ah, yeah, I did actually skip something. Sometimes I think, and this is pretty original, disease, so don't steal it, but sometimes I think all you need is love. If we'll trust, we must have you safe make us, from that one, your body's guardian. Behind them, the pig snuffling turns thunderous and fever-hot. Ah, is it bad? Arion, what's going on? I guess we fight? Your body wants them out. Alright, okay, so we're actually... Oh no! I'm afraid this is just what your immune system looks like. Okay, that is fantastic. The twists and turns of the story. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This game is absolutely amazing. Oh, okay. I'm happy to do this. How much HP do you have? Okay, you have 9 HP. Right, okay. This is not going to be too bad, I don't think. I hope. Okay, that's some pretty good damage already. And we're going to just shoot it. Hopefully we'll get some nice little poison on there. We're going to interfuse with this pillar. And I'll use discus. Boom. Dead. Alright, that was easy enough, wasn't it? Yep, easy enough. And we now gain some experience. Frenchie actually leveled up, which is fantastic. Seems like Arion's taking the longest to level up for some reason. I don't know why that is. And we're going to be probably upgrading... Quelling Moss, because I really love the damage bonus of the poison. Okay, stunt chance. Probably going to give that to probably Brenshi. I think stunt chance is really, really good for her, so we'll do that. It's several weeks before they're home again. Can smell that half across town. Simmer the onions and garlic till they look like glass and maggots. Heap it up and give it a good sniff. Ah, how nice. Now throw it away because it's time for the rice. Hey, you're raising a stink. Actually, it smells good. What book you got now? A cookbook? Oh, it's the same one as before. The back 2/3. It just becomes Dr. Roan's culinary vulnerinaries. She was also an ambitious and wonderful chef, it seems. Tell you the truth, I've been famished since we got back. Because of the The parasite, right? That's still what you think it was? Yuck. Yeah, eating for 2 now, or, I don't know, 100,000, it tells me. Anyway, I do feel a lot better than I'd felt. This tongue and these lips are eager for fond words and kisses again. My mouth's got its regular rose peach taste, but my throat's stronger, kind of, you know? Hard to explain, maybe. Well, stop. Instead, tell me what you're making. Crawdads, ultimately. The recipe is very circuitous. Oh, crawdads? I happen to love crawdads. Yep, delicious crawdads. Alright, there you go. And now, oh, he's actually advanced in level as well. That's fantastic. Okay, so this is actually really, really nice. Now, look at this. They're giving me things that very much point towards Battle Mage, which I really, really love about this game as well. They're giving me smart upgrades rather than just random upgrades that don't do anything for me. So, for example, I can upgrade Vigor Flow once more to give myself additional damage, even more additional damage. I can get more HP, or we can get Spirit Blade. When allies even stand directly adjacent to an interfused object, they gain +1 damage. Interfused blazes can be used to grant nearby allies fiery attacks. So that's a bit more of a supporting role. I'm going to take Hardiness. I personally think that gaining that additional HP is going to be very, very useful for us. Okay, so let's go... should I go over here? Yeah, I think we have enough time to go over here. So let's go and scout that. It's going to take me about 21 days to get there, but I think it's going to be worth it. Let's go over there and see what we can do. There we go. In the darkest heart of Hardfields. Actually, we should have been out of here 2 days ago. Thank goodness we've nearly finished scouting the area. Feels like we've been patrolling this grassland for weeks. What? Why didn't you... I wasn't sure, not 100%, but now... What? Why didn't you say anything? Now I'm certain we should have reached Illumathia land this morning at the latest. So, what does that mean? Are we lost? Are the maps wrong? No, I think the land is wrong. The land is wrong? What does that even... No, she's right. I can feel it. A whisper of wrongness rustling my mind like a bird rustles leaves. Something is warping our senses. Like what? Thrixl? Thrixl would have attacked by now. Agreed. This is something different. I was really hoping you weren't gonna say that. So where is this thing? If it trapped us in the field this long, it must somehow be making us walk in circles. Circles? Or a spiral? Of course, luring us in towards the center. Which means the center is where we'll find it. I might be able to guide us there if I knew exactly how our senses were being warped. The shadows. Look at our shadows on the ground. Yes, our shadows look like they're bending. They're being warped by the effect. And if they're being warped at that angle, then the center of the spiral is this way. And the outer edge is that way. Alright, let's track it down and kill it. 75% chance for us to fail, potentially. Well, it is trying to draw us in. I guess finding it shouldn't be too hard. This way, let's go. We're close, apparently. I feel it. There! Oh, wow. What is that? Alright. Oh, no. He got hit in the... Arion got hit in the face. Oh, and... oh, no. Did we fail? I can't hit it. It's like my aim is always off. It's still warping our senses. We can't tell. We can't tell where it truly is. It can't warp my arrow's senses. It wanted to bring us to it. Let it bring this. As she fires the arrow. Nice shot. And just in the nick of time. Eyeing the field of old equipment scattered about. Whatever it was, I'd say it's been feeding here for a while. We should collect this stuff. We might find something useful. I'm just glad to know we've made this part of the Yondering Land safe again. Come on, let's get out of here. Alright, so now we get additional speed, which is actually quite nice. So I'm thinking we're probably going to be giving that to Brenshi anyway, because she doesn't have anything like that. And look at this, we got an axe. This is going to be really, really nice. I'm actually going to be giving that to Arion. And he will be probably getting something better as time goes on. But we'll see. We'll see what we can actually give him. I'm going to salvage this. There we go. Okay, so we can build a station here if we want to. How long is that going to take, actually? We can spend 1 legacy point. Okay, let's actually do that. We can choose between any number, but I chose the one that provides me with 2 resources at 1 each, rather than 1 resource at 2 each. So it just gives me more variety in comparison to giving me more of one kind. So there we go. It's going to be making hides and fabrics, which is pretty good. All right, so we're now going to be moving on to the final zone of this chapter. Bear in mind, this is just chapter 1 still. This is just chapter 1. And here we go. This is what we want to do. Let's go for it. Brenshi, slowly, Arion. The tunnel's been burnt into the earth. I saw that red star tumbling away through the night, like a dice roll that goes under the table. You want to know if you got lucky or you lost. I'm not eager to go charging in there. You? Maybe let's wait and just, watch for a while. You're peeing down your leg, aren't you? Crouching through the smooth burnt dark. They go. Alright, here we go. Oh, hello there. That's a lot of enemies. Yeah, okay. I have no idea what the chrysalis actually end up doing, but I would assume that they probably hatch. And this is going to be problematic. We need some AoE, right? Chrysalises may survive. Oh, okay. So we don't necessarily need to kill them. But I kind of want to because... Oh, they actually attack? Are you serious? I had no idea. Alright, let's go for some poison then, I guess. Boom. So much damage is being dealt right there. And I can't actually do anything to these because they have so much armor. That's actually hilarious. Let's just try and do some damage to this one then. And we can interfuse with some stuff. I guess the rocks, because they're going to give me Discus. Discus is really good because it is an AoE. As you can see, it's an AoE that kind of spreads to every other enemy in the area. So it's kind of good. Or we don't have to do that, and I can basically just go up to this thing and maybe murder it. Boom. Look at how much damage we're doing right now. That is absolute insanity right there. Okay, and they're dying from poison, which is fantastic. These things are going to swarm us like no one's business. That's the main reason why I wanted to actually deal some damage to them before we get the true enemies. Oh, can they be interfused? Are you serious? Whoa. Okay, that might be a bit problematic then. Okay, I'm doing damage here mainly because what I want to do is I want to use another Quelling Moss round about here. Oh, this is going to poison us. Oh dear. I don't really want to poison my own team. There we go. Even if we don't get through the armor, it's enough to basically just poison them. I think that's actually kind of useful. Okay, what is this? Torches. There's a rock right there. I'm just going to interfuse with that real quick. Oh, so much damage. Yep, that guy's dead from poison. That guy's taking damage from poison. More poison. You see what I mean about the poison? It is so incredibly good at clearing out enemies without you really having to do that much, which is really nice. And Arion has so much HP now that people are basically just ignoring him by the looks of things, which is also fantastic. I really was a bit worried about him getting killed. Nice damage right there. Look at that. Look at Chaven. He's doing so much damage thanks to his wonderful cleave ability now too. Okay, we're gonna do another little poison here. Nice. And then we're just going to attack this so we can stack the poison even further. And then I'm actually gonna go up here, probably over here, and just kill this thing. Boom. Arion has got the business. Oh, yes, he does. Look at that. Everything's just dying around us thanks to the poison. And now all we have left is basically one of these. It's a Seeker. I have no idea. I've never fought these guys before, so I guess we're just gonna go up to it. Look at that. Kill 3 enemies with poison in a single turn. That's pretty fantastic. I'm gonna just go into stealth. And it seems like with Arion I can't actually even get over there, unfortunately. So it seems like I will either just have to eliminate the Chrysalis, which I think I probably will do. And the Seeker... Oh, you're really going to attack Arion? How dare you? How dare you, sir? That is not very nice of you. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else around here, so I'm just going to wait. Let's murder this. Oh, look at how much... Oh, yeah. There we go. That's what we like. And now... Aha, there they come. There they come. Okay, so now I'm just going to throw my poison. That's not going to work. Need to get a little bit closer. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to have to sprint over there. I'm going to try and give her... Oh, I can remove stasis, actually. That's really quite fantastic as well. Thankfully, she's got some armor. That really does make a difference. Ah, there's the boss. Okay, so that is basically the boss that we need to deal with. It might be a bit problematic for me, but, well, we have poison. That's the point. We have poison, and that's pretty much all you really need to be very, very effective against bosses. At least, in my opinion, I think that it is super fun to use poison in that way. That's the reason why I really love speccing into Quelling Moss. Makes a huge difference. And I'm going to go for an interfuse against one of these, I guess. Bones. Doesn't really matter either way, I suppose, either. Anyway, let's just go here, kill this. Ooh, he's taking damage. But thankfully the poison finished him off. The enemy, that is. Ah, look at that. He's now hidden. Is he really hidden? Are you serious? No, he's been revealed. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now... Let's move, let's try to move close, and then we'll use Quelling Moss. There we go. I'm going to just try and stack as much poison as possible. Unfortunately, Arion is pretty... He's kind of hurt, you know? He's kind of hurt, so he might not be able to really do too much in this situation, which I am kind of sad about. But we're going to just interfuse with a bunch of... things here. He can only do 2 at a time, unfortunately. But now we're just going to wait. Okay, the poison... Spawn Chrysalis. Ah, okay, so he's actually capable of spawning more Chrysalis. Okay, that might be problematic over time. These all have 2 HP. Not a big fan of that. Okay, we're just going to wait. There we go. Let's move a little bit closer. I'm going to basically just play this a little bit slower now. Quelling Moss. Let's do that on everyone. Nice. Just keep stacking up that poison. Just keep stacking up the poison, and it's going to make a huge difference over time. Unfortunately, we're having some issues with that. This is maybe a little bit problematic. Can I do... How much damage can I deal to this guy? That's the point. How much HP does he have? 15. Yeah, I can do about 10 damage if I have maximum interfuse available. Which I don't at the moment. So that's obviously a bit of a problem. Okay. I'm going to use another Quelling Moss right here. Let's try and get everyone in it. Nice. And we're going to shoot. Nice. More damage. Look at that. 8 poison stacks. 8. That's crazy. Let's do some damage to this, because we haven't poisoned it that much. Yeah, I think the poison is going to get him. I think the poison is going to get him, but I'd love Arion to actually have the killing blow, but this guy seems to be walking away from us a little bit here, so that is probably not going to happen at this point, which is somewhat unfortunate. But... If that's the way it's got to be, then that's... Oh, no, maybe we can actually do it. Oh, yeah, we might be able to. Here we go. Boom. Ah, that was nice. That was nice. And now he's going to advance in level. And we're getting some warding. What is that? What is warding? Ah, incoming magical attacks. Oh, okay, okay. I think this is probably fine. I'm gonna give Brenchi this, actually. There we go. Any old cave in the world could be full of silent, bulging things. Somewhere along the burned-through tunnel, the rock changes character. Here, they walk a natural cavern that might have formed a century ago, expecting the star's arrival. Brenchi? Brenchi, just wait a bit. It traveled through the night sky. I called it a star, but it's... Brenchi places a palm, almost involuntarily, on the glassy rock, and feels taken to a world on the other side. Oh, wow. Okay, I have no idea what these guys are. And it cracks open. Arion shatters the crystal, breaking Brenchi from the cords of terror that had twisted around her brain. Brenchi. What just... Oh, my, thank you. The ensuing winter sees them back in Chapel Villain. They share a drink in gold, wobbly light. Their stars hold their place. Think it was like maybe a mooring line thrown from their world to ours. They'd like to clamber freely across it, but who can say why? We've come a long way, you know, since that Nightmare's Eve. The winter and many more seasons will flutter by. How many dreams are there in a single night of the earth? In a year of nights? In 10? Are there many more that never find a head? Are there dreams only meant for the dead? How long's the longest a dream's wandered, undreamt? And there you go. That's it. So that's the first chapter, and then you get to see your stats. So you can see here that we have a wide variety of resources, which is very nice. We've got some decent legacy points too, and based on your performance this chapter, you've earned 9 years of peace. So that's, I guess, kind of good. I think so. I think that's quite nice. And we also remove 1 calamity card. Your victory has undermined the enemy's plans, and they have been weakened as a result. And this is what has happened during the Years of Peace. Arion enjoyed spending time with the researchers of Nori Workshop. There was a certain lofty reverence in their mission to explore the Yondering Land's most mysterious workings. Chavin spent a month tracking a golden stag. As he finally raised his weapon for the kill, the stag looked him straight in the eyes and laughed. Chavin suddenly remembered somewhere else he urgently needed to be. Brenchi began having dreams of a branched-off life, where the clothes were strange, people spoke into glowing boxes, and mechanical carts whisked you around at great speeds. Each night the dreams would tell a bit more, and Brenchi was disappointed when they finally stopped. Arion was visited once by a woman cloaked in ivy. The spirit lay out 3 futures for Arion to pick from. After careful deliberation, one was finally picked. And here we go. Alright, so this is where we get the opportunity to advance Arion's transformation. So he's now going to have less block, but he now has the ability to use Thunder Stomp. Once per turn, as a swift action, stomps the ground with a small chance to stun enemies within range. Chance increases with stunt chance. We're going to say yes, because I personally really like how the characters change how they look. I think it's really, really fun to see that. And we're going to be giving him a dueling sword. I would actually like to craft... I would love to craft this, which is the best dueling sword, but I'm actually thinking we will... I want to make this one. I don't know actually. Now I'm having difficulties deciding. Yeah, now I'm having difficulties. We could just do this one. No, I'm gonna do this one. It's gonna cost me 1 legacy point as well, and we're gonna call it Lithe Blade. There we go. And now we probably want to give him some armor as well. So let's see if we can actually get him to wear some armor here. His armor is absolutely awful, isn't it? So let's just craft that. Dusty Drab. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. And we probably want to get Brenshi a new bow. Let's just craft this one. There we go. And some better gear. Can we craft some better gear? Yep, I can craft some better gear for Shaven here. And we have an offhand, potentially. Poison. Applies a poison to your weapon. It will be delivered by your next attack. Poison enemies will take true damage at the start of their turns. Usable twice per mission as a swift action. Yeah, not a terribly big fan of that, actually. So probably not going to do that. Can he actually dual wield? If he can actually dual wield, no, I don't think he can. But I'm pretty happy with what we have right here. I think that's really nice. So let's continue. Fed and cared for the poor woman. At my mill, haven't seen someone look that bad and not be dead. Apparently ate bad berries, was just starving, dried up, poorly clothed. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is care. Well, no, I wasn't doing anything special. You should have seen her. All I was doing was being decent. Left her in charge of the mill when I went to market. She insisted she'd draw me a map to take into town. I left it in the Chapel Villain Tavern. Says it's where the other prisoners are kept. Yeah, alright. Tell her we'll check it out. We're Thrixl hunters, among other things. We'll save who's savable. Thrixl have been making prisoners of landsfolk, leading them senseless into an old jail and locking them there. Why? May as well ask the moon. The company swears to free these people before whatever is meant to be done with them is done. The shadows deepen. All monster groups will draw an extra monster card in every battle, and so the fight becomes more difficult. And as you can see, we have 350 days left, but clearing Thrixl sites gets me more time. And you can see that the land has now increased in size once again. And you can see here that we still have our workshop and our watermill and all these other places that are indeed secured and so on. We can also go here to go and craft or upgrade items. We can go here to recruit more people and so on. But the main thing that you want to try and think about is clearing these infestations. The deepists are actually infesting this tile, and they can ambush groups of 2 or fewer heroes. Patrol or take out the source to clear the infestation. So you can also do that. You don't have to run around all as one big group. You can actually separate your heroes if you want to. Anyway, I think that's actually going to be it for this video. And if you'd like to check out Wildermyth, there is a link in the description. I would highly recommend checking it out. It has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and I think you can probably see why. I love this game. I have been playing it a great deal recently, and it's just released from early access, and they've done a fantastic job. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.